What is the most broken item on the Hive? You might say it's the Fireball in Bed Wars, or maybe even the Knockback Nemo in Scout Wars. I mean, those are pretty broken. Well, over the years, Hive has added many different items. Some came, some went, and some of these items are broken. I made a video talking about the most broken items 3 years ago, but a lot has changed since then. So in this video, I'll be going through each Hive game to find what truly is the most broken item on Hive. Starting off with Scout Wars, Hive Scout Wars is one of the games with the most diversity in its loot pool, but one item stands out, being the Nemo. In my video from 3 years ago, I said that the Knockback Nemo was the most OP item, being able to knock anyone off the edge with an infinite amount of uses. However, the Hive has added weekly items. Most of these items don't change the gameplay that much, but there's one exception, being the Chompy. The Chompy destroys any blocks in front of its path, making it an excellent item for spleefing anybody on a small island or a bridge. It's not that difficult to get either, mainly being able to spawn in mystery chests where you can get multiple. Despite the Chompy being a contender for most broken Scout Wars item, I think the Nemo is slightly more broken. The fact that an item that deals this much knockback is in a game that's filled with void is very broken, and it has unlimited uses unlike the knockback Dory in Bed Wars, which makes it an experience the rare chance you get one. But there's also the original Fire Sword, which ignited the person you're fighting every single hit. If you switch from the Fire Sword to your main sword, it was very broken. They replaced the Fire Sword with the Sword of Embers, which is a lot worse now, but it's still useful if your opponent is in full diamond armor where most weapons do half a heart of damage to them. Now on to Bed Wars. Oh boy. Nah, I'm just kidding, I'm not playing that. Treasure Wars didn't really have any items that were broken. The closest broken item in Treasure Wars was either the Chorus Fruit because you can escape any fight, or Snowballs because you can start combos easily. No items in Treasure Wars really felt out of place. On the other hand though, Bed Wars is on a completely different breed. Bed Wars opened up the window for many broken items in its lifetime. The turrets at one point were indestructible from projectiles, which was horrible for the first little bit of Bed Wars. You would risk dying just to destroy one, and you could have multiple of these things on one island, which I honestly think would have been a contender, but they fixed this, removed turrets the next season, and brought them back. Something that will likely stay forever though are fireballs, and they're pretty stupid. Because any sort of armor doesn't protect you at all for some reason, you can use fireballs to significantly lower someone's health instantly. And the worst part is you can spam these too. There's also wind charges, which serves as a cheaper fireball. The amount of games I've lost to people out of nowhere launching me across the map with one of these things needs to be talked about. There's also poison potions, which are so broken. I can't believe I forgot to talk about these things in my Bed Wars Season 2 tips video. These things instantly make you low, and all you can do is run away and heal up again. There is antidote, but the poison would already be too much, so you'd be cooked either way from these. Then there's the Knockback Dory, which the only way to counter one is to have multiple pearls, and they remove Chorus Fruits the time we needed it the most now. The reason why I think it's so overpowered is not necessarily because of the Dories itself, but because it's way easier to get in Bed Wars compared to Scout Wars. But we're somehow not done just yet. A few days ago, they added the Odin Spear. This is one of the new items that got added in Season 3, and it summons a lightning bolt, destroys blocks, and gives enemies slowness 2 when thrown. When it first came out, it could literally 3-shot someone in full diamond armor, and it only costed 32 gold. It could destroy blocks too, which serves as a cheaper fireball essentially. However, they nerfed the Odin Spear already. Wow, that was actually kind of fast. They reduced the max damage from 5 hearts to 3, reduced damage radius from 6 to 5, reduced the slowness debuff duration from 5 seconds to 3, and they increased the price from 32 gold to 48 gold. Yes, it's 48 gold, but you can still do some decent damage to your enemy's health late game regardless of what armor you have on. It can destroy bridges and bed defenses better than a fireball, and you don't need to directly hit your enemy for damage to be done. This is why I think the spears are quite overpowered. There's also the Valkyrie Wings, which is the closest item to being able to clutch in Bed Wars and a counter to the fireballs and wind charges. These wings let you double jump 15 times, and people can escape fights with these. I feel like in the near future, when people start finding ways to use it, these wings could become a really useful item. However, there's one thing I did not mention yet, being totems. Totems, especially the life totems, are so broken. I explained exactly how they are broken in my Bed Wars Season 2 tips video. They heal you and nearby teammates, but they heal you fast. And you can place 2 near each other and stand between them to heal up instantly. That's not it though. Placing a life totem in the middle of a fight makes you win almost every time. The totems don't heal the opponent, so you'll have more health while fighting them. The opponent will likely be running away from you, which if you were low in the first place, that's a good thing that they're running away from you. And because it heals you so quickly, you can easily kill them. The totems also can't be damaged by enemy players, but the reason why all 3 of these totems, especially the life totem, are so broken is due to how easy they are to get. They only cost 2 diamonds. You can fill up an entire inventory of totems late game. That's why these things are broken. You can spam the life and even the fire totems, and the opponent can't do much about it. The opponent kinda just has to accept their fate. Yes, something as broken as totems was only 2 diamonds! That is actually absurd! I underestimated the other 2 totems though. Fire totem serves as a cheaper poison potion, and the mining fatigue totem straight up don't even let anyone break your bed for 20 whole seconds! Imagine this late game! And the thing with these totems is they did nothing about them throughout Season 2. The price was still kept at 2 diamonds, and they didn't even tweak the strength or anything about it. The Odin Spear got tweaked, but not the totems. Anyways, moving on to the other Hive game modes. Murder Mystery somehow had something that was technically broken. In the original video, I talked about how on the map Toy House, there was a shower that made you completely invincible. Any zapper shots wouldn't go through the shower, while the murderer could easily kill anyone close by. And if someone with a bow goes into the shower, then the murderer could easily kill them. I believe this has been fixed though, so that leaves the closest thing to be broken in Murder Mystery being the rewards you get on specific maps. On Pigment, if you collect all 3 of the cubes, you can get an arrow, which if you collect 10 coins and get a bow, you can get 2 shots, which is quite overpowered if you miss but can shoot fast. However, the additional shot you get on Castle Town is much more overpowered. Not only can you get a bow and arrow at the start of the game, depending on the round, people can find the 3 keys at the start of the game, and it can lead to the murderer dying shortly after the game is started. Now on to survival games. It has a few overpowered items. In the original video, I talked about how boom boxes can neglect fall damage, but they fixed that bug. But boom boxes in general are really useful in deathmatches, specifically the poison, fire, and normal boom boxes. You can hit your opponent without being near them. Boom boxes can also be used to get back in the deathmatch area if you're good enough. There's also launch pads, which technically isn't an item, but if you jump at the perfect time while going through a horizontal launch pad, you can get crazy far. This can be used to get away from people if you're very low. You can actually escape any fights using this, and if you fall onto a launch pad that launches you vertically while someone is falling onto it, it's a really easy way to kill pro players that not a lot of people know about. Let's take a quick break and move on to the arcade game modes. The Hive has added arcade and removed it since my original video, which is insane, but let's see what's broken in these games. Capture the Flag is a game mode with some pretty balanced items, but it had some broken items in the past. TNT is one of the most useful items in Capture the Flag today, but it used to be much more broken on release day. I don't exactly remember how it was before, but either the damage or the radius of the TNT was too high. There's also speed berries. If you eat a speed berry before picking up the flag, the slowness you normally get from the flag is cancelled out, allowing you to outrun your opponent if you're good enough. In the bridge, there's only 3 kits to choose from. And I don't know about y'all, but something is up with these kits. Either the golden apple kit is the useless kit here, or the snowball and leap kit are just overpowered. Either way, I think we could all agree that the snowball kit and the leap kit are overpowered. For the snowball kit, I mean, we all know how snowballs are like in Hive Scours. You can easily start any combo with these. And it's probably why I lose every single game to these emos and leaderboard grinders. Getting 8 snowballs in Scours is insane, and they just decided to add this to the bridge because why not? And then there's the leap kit. The leap is still broken, but the leap on release day was so unbelievably broken that it caused controversy in the Hive community. You can also build underneath the spawn cage and jump bridge to the enemy's goal and win every single game on release day with no skill, which is also so rough. Besides the games I have mentioned, there isn't really any game-breaking item in the rest of the games, but some games have at least one thing that's broken in the context of the game. Okay, I'm gonna go through this really quickly, but starting off with the Rain of Pain and Ground Wars, which kills people on the opposite team for you. There's also the Imposter power-up, which if you're good enough can be very effective. There's the Knockback Nemo and Block Drop, which is OP in that it's the only way to eliminate other players. A color teleporter compared to the other items in Block Party is very OP, and most of the times you need one to win the game. That's pretty much it. Every other game mode doesn't really have an item that can be broken. So now that we've looked through every game, what is the most broken item? Okay, I think we can all agree that the most broken item has to be in one of the PvP game modes, and I'll limit it down to just Bed Wars and Scout Wars. In all honesty, the broken items in Scout Wars don't compare to the ones in Bed Wars. Yes, the Choppy is overpowered and can spleef players on a bridge, but does it really compare to a Fireball in Bed Wars? Yes, the Knockback Nemo is broken in Scout Wars, but does it compare to a Knockback Dory which you can easily get in any late Bed Wars game unlike Scout Wars which has a rare chance of happening? Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's safe to assume the most broken items will be in Bed Wars. Hive Bed Wars has gone wacky with its items. The turrets, I mean, those were so annoying on release day. The knockback dories, that's also very OP. Fireballs are so OP, same thing with wind charges. Poison is so OP, and even Odin Spears too. But with all of this, does this even compare to how broken the totems were? If you didn't have them, most of the time you'd lose the fight. Well, I made a top 3 of the most broken items on Hive. In order, the most broken items are as follows. Number 3 is the Odin Spear. Fireballs were very close behind, but I think the Odin Spear slightly beats the Fireball. The Odin Spear serves as just a better Fireball. Even with the nerfs they did, it's more reliable and can destroy more blocks than a Fireball, and it still damages the player by a decent amount. The Odin Spear will also be cheaper late game, being 48 gold instead of 64 iron. When you upgrade your generator at the start of the game, you get both iron and gold, but the spawn rate for both iron and gold are the same. At number 2, I chose poison potions. You get poison 2 for 10 seconds when one hits you, and all you can do is run away and heal up again. In late game, these things are so overpowered when you can get multiple of these. And for number 1 is the life totem. It was really difficult choosing between totems and potions, but the more I think about it, I think these things were the definition of broken. One life totem can bring you back to full health, and like I said earlier, placing a life totem in the middle of a fight encourages the opponent to run away from you, which if you were low in the first place, it's a good thing that they're running away from you. And because it heals you so quickly, you can easily kill them. They also only cost 2 diamonds, meaning you can fill an entire inventory of totems late game. Combining the life totems with the fire totems was such a deadly combo that existed the whole season. Wow, that was a lot. But in the end, I think the most broken item in Hive's history has to be the totems. The Hive has a lot of game modes to play, and each game mode, except for Parkour Worlds, has a max level of some kind. But what is the hardest Hive game mode to max? Well, go check out this video.